Welcome back to Crossplay, our video game podcast here at the Whatnots. I was gonna say you are listening to, but I just kind of did that thing. I'm not used to hosting really all that much anymore. So it is Tuesday, July 5th, 2022. This is number 124 of our show. And coming up on today's show, Sucker Punch currently has no interest in returning to Sly Cooper. A new Ubisoft forward has been announced that will focus on Skull and Bones. Good God. And Sony is launching a new gaming hardware brand aimed at PC gamers. We will get to all of that and more. But for now, my name is Kyle Springer, and I am joined by Alan Busby. Alan,
good evening, Kyle.
How's it going?
How has the weekend been?
The weekend was good. Festivities abounded. Is abounded the right word there? We had some people over on Saturday night for some fun and games and food and drinks. Nice. And then yesterday for the 4th, we went out to go see some fireworks at a place nearby. That was pretty fun. We went out to eat after that. So it's been a good weekend.
Nice.
What about you? Are you gonna go see Thor: Love and Thunder this week?
Yes, we are actually gonna go see Thor on Saturday. We're gonna probably go see it early Saturday because weekend people are probably gonna flood in there at nighttime. So we're gonna break the rules and go see it in the morning because you're allowed to watch a movie whenever you want, but only wild people go see a movie in the morning and get out when it's still daylight. That's just weird to me.
So I'm seeing it on Thursday, and I'm seeing it at 4 p.m. Central.
Okay.
So it is earlier in the day. I waited to get my tickets until I guess Sunday night. So I was thinking of people really like Thor. This is gonna be, and then Thursday at 4. The theater was mainly empty still, so I was like, when you were picking your seat because
you got
middle.
It so early. See, but you have to go see it earlier because especially it being Thursday night, the later in the day you go, it's gonna be just packed.
Exactly.
So you have to go see it earlier.
Exactly. So I be on the lookout for our spoiler cast of Thor: Love and Thunder. You are welcome to join us, Alan, if you would like. I think tentatively we're going to be recording it Sunday night, but that's not set in stone yet.
Okay, yeah. Depending on time, if we do see it Saturday, I might get in on that. I might do that.
We will keep you posted. We do all of our spoiler casts and stuff here at the Whatnots on our podcast feed called The Reactor Core. Of course, it'll be up on our YouTube page as well. But I'm excited. I'm super stoked.
But today we're talking about games, though, Kyle.
Are we?
Are we, though? Are we? Have we been gaming enough?
This week has been interesting because news has started to kind of filter back in now that the lull of E3. Let's not announce stuff until all those showcases and Summer Game Fest. So stuff started to creep back in, and I feel like it was a lot of small things. But
we're still in that window of that
stuff.
kind of post E3 era timeline. We're technically still in the depression of it.
Yeah.
We're sitting there like Nintendo fans. We're like, there's a fake direct announcement, and we're like, oh my god, yes, give me something to get excited about.
Yeah, starting to fiend for those new releases that were announced and are starting to come out and all that stuff.
Yeah.
That being said, let's get into what we've been playing. All right. It hasn't been much, but you have been playing the one thing that released recently.
I've played the newest thing, which technically isn't even a new release. It's just a re-release of the oldest games. Yeah. So I have been playing Sonic Origins, and as of recording this, I am on the final game, which is Sonic CD. Fun fact, I think I played these out of order. I think it's supposed to go Sonic 1, CD, 2, and then 3, but I did Sonic 1, 2, 3, and now I'm ending with CD, so I think I've technically done this out of order.
I gotcha. I've never really played much of the Sonic games, so I am no help there of which one is supposed to be next.
I obviously, like, these games are old, like they're all very old. So like if you haven't played them at this point, you're kind of like you're a little late. I've been seeing some videos that Origins is still kind of like, it kind of misses the mark on some of like the quality of life improvements or some design things that Sega did. While I grew up with these games, because my sister had the Sega, but we only had Sonic 1 and 2, I've never played CD or 3 and Knuckles ever in my life. And I never played them a lot growing up. So like, I'm not like super critical of the games, but I do love them. Sonic 2 was still my favorite growing up. Sonic 2, still my favorite still my favorite Sonic 2D Sonic game. I know some people prefer how the old games play, and there is classic style, but for me personally, I was never good at 2D Sonic. I was only good at 3D Sonic. So Origins has this great thing where when you go into like special stages, you can actually just spend a coin to replay it because you have infinite lives, which, oh my God, if I didn't have infinite lives, I would have never, ever beaten the final boss of Sonic 2. There's literally no way it would have happened. It is impossible. So there are still quality of life improvements, but apparently Sega has missed the mark a little bit. But
that's what I've been hearing, is that it's not really up to par of what fans wanted.
And this might be the hot take. I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is too long, and a lot of levels are kind of meh. And I'm not done with CD, but CD kind of sucks. And and I hate that because Metal Sonic's in it, and I love Metal Sonic, and Sonic CD is kind of trash.
There you go. Hot take coming from Alan.
Sonic 1 still solid, except for like the last level is like, it's just full of nothing but just straight bullshit stuff everywhere, which is like really annoying with water and stuff. But Sonic 1 still overall good. I still think Sonic 2 is still the best one. Like, and that's probably my bias talking, but I still think Sonic 2 is just the peak of those 4 games. But
I gotcha. And
obviously you can play as Tails and Knuckles in most of them, but gotta play as my boy Sonic.
There you go. Yeah, I've been hearing not the best things about it, but hey, as long as you're enjoying it and having a blast, that's really all that matters. But yeah, cool. There's Sonic Origins for you.
Yeah, playing the newly released game, but playing probably the oldest games.
Yeah, so I've been real busy this week. Haven't been playing much, especially new stuff. But recently I did start replaying Final Fantasy X. I'm playing this with my girlfriend. We play through some stuff every now and then. And this was my first Final Fantasy game. And this is the game that like made me believe that video games are magic. Like back in the day. I had an N64. I played all that stuff. I had some great times. But once I got my PlayStation 2 and I got Final Fantasy X, holy moly, man, like something about that game was just like, this is magic. I don't understand how games can be this good.
Because like when you think about it though, FF9 was before it. Like FF10 was like the real shift to Final Fantasy. Like where it was like all 3D. It was like, it had like more movie-esque cutscenes and everything. Like it was like really good.
Voice acting, all that stuff, top of the line voice acting back in the day.
I think you have it better than me because you said this is the Final Fantasy that got you into Final Fantasy.
Yeah.
See, for me, it was 13.
There you go.
So you had the better game. I have still yet to play 10. But I have played the living crap out of 10 too, because I just love. I know that's like the not as good one, but that for some reason I love that one.
So here's the thing that was the like thing at the time of like, oh yeah, 10-2, it's not as good. It's all like girl focused and all that stuff, and it was just like, what the hell? They're pop idols. What is this garbage? But I think like people nowadays have like looked back and been like, actually that game is good. It's not bad. It's real good.
10-2, the first Final Fantasy game that actually had a direct sequel too.
Yes.
It was the first Final Fantasy that it's like, hey, we're going to actually have a sequel to a mainline Final Fantasy. And it was like, oh my God, there another one in this world.
Yeah.
It was really mind-blowing at the time.
Funny is because we're playing the HD like remastered version. And so like you meet Yona in Final Fantasy X. You meet her and she like walks out of the like the I think the place is called the Faith. It's
it's like that temple, whatever. Right? Yeah,
and she's like almost fainting and all this stuff, and she has all these people around her to protect her, but the splash page of when you start the game, when you like load it up, and it's like, which one do you want, Final Fantasy X or Final Fantasy X-2? It has her there in some like booty shorts and a gun, and my girlfriend is just like, I'm so invested now because I want to see how she gets to be that. Like, who is she? I want to play as her.
The cover art of Yuna in 10-2, that I don't know who made that cover art, but they really wanted Yuna's ass. They wanted you to notice that and the gun. They were like, hey,
it's like, Yuna has a gun now. We're straight murking all of these monsters.
I mean, it worked. You know, I played Devil May Cry. I saw Dante dual wield pistols and I was sold. And then I saw Yuna had pistols and I was like, man, yo, but what if
Devil May Cry didn't have booty shorts?
Yo,
what if it did though?
No, Dante would wear because Dante'd have to wear the daddy booty shorts. Oh man, could you imagine? Yeah, I'm glad you're liking 10. I assume do you know how close you are to beating it, or are you just
started? We're not very far at all. I think we just got to Luca, I believe, is the place where the big Blitzball tournament is about to start. So yeah, we're not very far in at all. Haven't even met Jekt yet, or no. So we've seen Jekt in like flashbacks and stuff like that. But we haven't met.
Oh yeah, what's his name?
His name is Orin.
Is that his name? It's the dude with the big sword, right? He wears the red.
Yeah.
Is that? Oh, okay. I guess that is Orin.
Orin, yeah. I always thought he was badass.
Wait, then who's the monkey guy that like
Kimari.
That like protect? Oh, that okay. That because I was like Kimari. I'm trying to remember their. I only know
tiger guy, lion. I'm not sure what he is.
How do you pronounce the main character's name, Kyle?
Titus.
Titus?
Yeah, Titus all the way.
Apparently it's Titus.
It's Titus all the way. I could care less.
There's a great video where it's like Titus. All right, so Titty's here.
Titty's here.
Yeah, I'm glad you're enjoying it. I mean,
it's good.
I mean, honestly, FF10 probably has one of the best regular battle themes in Final Fantasy history.
Ooh, yeah,
that song's a real bop every time.
Indeed. But yeah, that's what I've been playing. So not much on the game front with that. So we can move right along.
I guess Ignacio is right. I guess we are in a drought of games because we're not playing anything really brand new.
Yeah. I mean, I'm excited for some things that are coming up in a couple weeks here, but that's it.
Let's go.
We shall see.
That's it.
So we will take a quick break for housekeeping. We will do all that good stuff, and then we will be right back and dive into the news. So yeah, we'll be right back. And we are back. A big shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. We love you a lot. It means the world that you are supporting us here at the Whatnots. Cool things that we have been up to here at the Whatnots. Of course, I said keep an eye out for our reaction to Thor: Love and Thunder, or our spoiler cast of that. If you are a Marvel fan, we have also been doing our reactions to Miss Marvel each week, so you guys can go get caught up on that. And I think we have 2 more left. The one that'll be out this week and then next week. Okay. If you guys miss Gino as much as we do here on the show, I am trying to rope him in to do a spoiler cast for season 3 of The Boys. I've been watching that as well. And I believe the finale of season 3 comes out the same day that this podcast will go live to everyone there. So hopefully sometime next week, we will get to record our spoiler cast for that. That should be good. Speaking of Gino, we also need to schedule our next check-in on our Final Fantasy, our video game fantasy draft. Not Final Fantasy related or sponsored.
Yeah, when we do that again, I'm going to have to actually bet on some games that are actually probably going to come out.
Yes. So be on the lookout for that. Gino will be a part of that as well. And if you missed last week, he announced that he was stepping down. But he will be back from time to time if there's some big video game announcement he wants to talk about or some Final Fantasy news or the like. So you will see his face from time to time here on the show. Other stuff I need to mention on the Captain's Log, we just did our annual trivia night on the podcast, which was a lot of fun, and Ignacio joined us on that. So you guys will have to go check that one out. That's a lot of fun. We do that every year at the end of June. It's a blast. You guys should go check that one out. And then recently on the review show, I still have to mention Triple R. We reviewed that a couple weeks ago, and holy moly, we're now almost at 400 subscribers on YouTube. We've We've gained 100 subscribers in the past month on YouTube. The Triple R is now one of our most watched YouTube videos, most interacted with. Triple R is an Indian movie. It's available on Netflix. Go watch it, please.
Yeah,
it is a blast.
You keep almost selling me on wanting to watch it, so like maybe I'll check it out this weekend.
Dude, it is so much fun. Like it's 3 hours long, which is a lot.
That's fair.
But it works out perfectly that if you basically divide it, like here's the like first half and here's the second half, it works out perfectly as like here's the two parts of that. Dude, it is incredible. The action scenes are fantastic. They are bizarre. They are ridiculous. They do an entire action scene with one guy on someone else's shoulders. And they fight like that. It is ridiculous. It's so much fun. Go check it out. Yeah, that is all the housekeeping that I have for us right now. So let's get into the video game news of the week. All right, number 1 on our docket. BioWare has hired the writer behind Eidos Montreal's Deus Ex and Guardians of the Galaxy games. This is coming from Andy Robinson at VGC, and they write, Mary Del Marl has spent more than a decade at Eidos Montreal building the Deus Ex universe fans know today. She has also created the story and led the writing team for 2021's Guardians of the Galaxy, which won the Game Award for Best Narrative. However, she recently moved to BioWare, and the BioWare project director, Mike Gamble, has said that DeMarle will be joining the Mass Effect team as senior narrative director. Are you a Mass Effect fan?
So,
Alan?
So I don't really play any BioWare games. The only
That's fair.
I'm gonna take a shot in the dark, 'cause I don't know the games very well. I think BioWare makes the Dragon Age Inquisition series.
They do also make Dragon Age, yes.
Okay, so Amy is interested in like the newest Dragon Age. So I know DeMarle is joining the Mass Effect team, but I wonder if she'll still kind of work on any future Dragon Age games. And even though I don't play these games, it's exciting because I've never played Deus Ex and I still haven't played the Guardians of the Galaxy game. But I know that when Guardians came out,
this is so good.
I know that when it came out, people said that the cast of the Guardians game were more likable than their movie counterparts, which like it's the writing that does that. So like it makes me curious what that writing quality could bring to any future titles.
Yeah, I loved Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm also similar to you. I haven't really played Dragon Age or Mass Effect. That was one that I just never really got into when it was first getting big. So I feel like I've kind of missed the boat. However, I know that they are working on a brand new Mass Effect, and I'm still interested, right? Like I want to know and I want to jump on, but I also want to go back and play that remastered trilogy first. And I don't know. It's just rough because you know that the next Mass Effect game is going to have some like sky high quality writing. The only problem is like I feel like you have to play all the Mass Effects to really enjoy it. Unless maybe BioWare's going to make a new Mass Effect where it can kind of be a jumping on point. That'd be pretty nice. Because then you get the stellar writing and you make it a good introduction for people. Yeah, it seems like it might be one of the better jumping on points for this series. Because from what I've gathered, there are certain characters who are no longer alive in the Mass Effect franchise that may or may not be some of the main characters. So it seems like this is a new start, but there has also been some speculation that they are kind of retconning that or being like, well, maybe they actually aren't dead, and maybe you need to go find them.
I would just rather it be like a new Mass Effect that you can enjoy solo, but have it be one of those things where if you go back and play the old ones, and you play the new one, you're like, oh my God, I so enjoyed the game, but now I get all the references. Like, oh, I get that. I know what they're doing there. Oh, it's so cool.
That's kind of what they tried to do with Andromeda, right? It was another Mass Effect installment that was in another galaxy or something like that.
But Andromeda kind of
didn't hit well initially. I think some people have come around on that game, be like they've put in a lot of work, but who knows? Not one I have played, but I know that this should come as welcomed and exciting news for Mass Effect fans.
And honestly, still just great for Damaro for getting to be a senior narrative director. That's still really good. Just to have that, nice.
Good for them, indeed. Number 2 here on our docket, Sucker Punch. Not interested in going back to Sly Cooper or Infamous. This is coming from Amelia Zollner at IGN, and they write, in a statement published on the studio's website, Sucker Punch thanked fans for their support and laid out some of its plans for the future. According to the statement, the team is working on a new project that requires the studio's full attention. So there are currently no Sly Cooper or Infamous projects in the works at Sucker Punch or at any other studios. However, Sucker Punch clarified that it isn't done with those beloved franchises forever, and that it would, quote, never say never to reopening those doors down the road, end quote.
This is a really interesting story because I follow a lot of Sly Cooper stuff, so I know a lot about what's going on there.
Sure.
And it's weird to me because when Sucker Punch finished Sly 3, they made that the end of their story. Like they were ready to move on from Sly Cooper because they told the story they wanted to tell. Now I'm going to be honest, I actually don't want a new Sly Cooper game. Like I'm still adamant that I don't want a new one.
Would you take a remaster of the collection?
The thing that bums me out is Sly Cooper, honestly, is probably one of the best PlayStation 2 era platformer games that Sony has on the PlayStation 2. And I am bummed that there is no way to seamlessly play the Sly Cooper trilogy on modern consoles. I think the best we have is the PlayStation Now or premium service where you can stream Sly Cooper, but that's not really a solid way to play it because I don't want to stream it. Right. I would be okay if Sucker Punch worked with another developer to, like, kind of like how Vicarious Visions remade the Crash trilogy. Yeah. I'd be cool with them remaking the Sly Cooper trilogy of that, or honestly, just put it on PlayStation to be able to buy it. But yeah, I don't want and then Infamous is the same way. Like, I'm bummed there's no modern accessible way to play the Infamous games, because I played Second Son for PS4, but I've never played Infamous 1 or 2. Like, I've never played them.
Yeah.
And there's no easy way to play them. So I'm not bummed that they're not going to work on those games. And I'm very excited that there's a game that they're working on that requires the full studio's attention, because Sucker Punch has an incredible amount of talent at that studio. And if everyone's on board, that game is going to be a 10 out of 10. Yeah. I just wish that they made Infamous and Sly Cooper, very beloved franchises, more accessible for people to enjoy.
Yeah, indeed. I would love to play a remastered collection of this because I didn't play them at the time. I knew them. I saw them. Like, I watched enough of them to know that, like, oh yeah, these classics, right? Like, these are good games. I was a Jack and Daxter fan, and then was always more curious about Ratchet and Clank, and then eventually went back and did those ones. But like you, I played Infamous Second Son. I liked it well enough. I thought it was really, really good. I know people like the first and second ones more better, if I'm not mistaken, or at least that first one that had that more like comic booky like look and feel to it. But hey, superheroes are still a big thing, right? And I think they have an IP that can still do some interesting stuff. Especially as we get into this new generation here.
They could just imagine the reception you could have, right? You re-release even if it was just like a remaster, you re-release Sly Cooper and Infamous, right? You put them as like a bundle on PlayStation together or individually, whatever. Then you can see how popular the games are to give Sucker Punch an idea of, okay, after we work on our next project, let's gauge how popular these games are still loved and if it's worth working on another one.
Do we remember what game Blue Point is working on? They were always they remastered everything.
Yeah, I don't think they said. I know the Blue Point, I think the last thing they worked on, wasn't it Demon Souls, or did they work on something else after that? I forgot.
Something like that. I'm not sure.
I forget. The last thing about Sly Cooper is, technically, I believe there was an article or a statement somewhere that there can be a Sly Cooper 5, because there is a 4 in Thieves of Time that Sanzaru made. And Sanzaru did, I believe, give a statement at one point that they would love to work on another Sly Cooper game, but it is up to Sony.
That's
it is
probably
Sony's decision
why they were
if they work on it.
It's not in the works at Sucker Punch or anywhere else.
Because Sucker Punch doesn't work on Sly Cooper new games, because Sanzaru does. And Sanzaru wants to work on a Sly 5 because they left Sly 4 open for a sequel, but they're waiting for the green light by Sony. So it's not really Sucker Punch just denying fans a new one. It's actually kind of Sony with Sanzaru.
I gotcha.
So it's a whole thing.
Yeah. So the statement here says that the team is working on a new project that requires the full studio's attention. Do you think this is Ghost of Tsushima 2? I'm assuming it is.
No, I don't think it is, because if they're working on a Ghost 2, would it really need the studio's full attention? Because they already have all the assets and all that stuff already kind of made from the first game. If they were making a brand new game from the ground up, full studio's attention. But do you really need the full studio if you already have all of the assets and most of the work done for Ghost already?
Well, because Ghost was a PS4 game. You're right. They probably do have a lot of the assets that they need, but it would be motion capture and writing, and I think especially with the big expansion that they had, right, that kind of changed the game style. I'm wondering if they are figuring out new mechanics to implement in Ghost 2. How that would look different from the first one.
Let me pitch this at you. What if it was a Ghost 2, but they were going to revamp it where instead of it being just this giant open world sandbox, they were going to give you an almost semi-linear Ghost of Tsushima, just massive story, like extravaganza. Like, would you be okay with it moving away from that open sandbox, or do you like it more as that open sandbox?
I'm okay with the open sandbox, and I like what they did. I like how this is different as opposed to like the Last of Us games, right? Where that is the more like cinematic linear story. Mm-hmm. Here is that. I don't necessarily want them to do bigger, though, is the thing. Like
you don't want them to go Assassin's Creed and just give you more.
Which is really funny because I think it was this week or last week that Ubisoft that like made some announcement that was like, games don't always need to be bigger, and then I was just like, you're the problem.
It was Ubisoft's that man in the mirror where he's like pointing at himself and it's you were the problem.
Yeah. I'm fine with a lot of open world stuff. I think they did a great job. I think I want them to go that extra mile with that cinematic look in an open world with better. They had wonderful motion capture, but just to bring it to that next level, right? Like how do you improve the sword combat and make it difficult for the people that want it difficult, but accessible to the people that want it accessible? Like it really did kind of start to get repetitive with following all these foxes and following the birds. Like, how do you vary that up? How do you then implement the stuff that they changed about the game in their expansion and put that in the main game? Is that possible?
A Ghost 2, I would almost want it to be, like I said, like that kind of semi-open. Like, I want the game to still kind of have that open world feel, because honestly, I think Ghost has some of the coolest collectibles, because there was nothing better than finding something and being like, oh, new outfit piece, new paint. Oh my God, a new way to, like, a new
they aesthetic had a whole
for my
Sly
sword.
Cooper themed outfit you could do.
Nothing I love more than scrolling through all the different sword paints and being like, how do I want my swords to look? Like, I want things like that still, but I want them to refine the way you find that. And I know this is like, we're in this year and that's how, and this is going to sound very like pleb of me. I want them to kind of almost do the Elden Ring thing. I want them to make the exploration feel more organic instead of just, oh, you're going somewhere, oh, a bird, and then you just aimlessly follow it around. Like, I want you to almost have this, like, you stumble upon it so you almost feel more satisfied that you find it.
I'm almost with you on that. I think what Sucker Punch did
not
with
quite
the
Elden Ring,
wind,
but like something in the middle of those.
Sure. Like I think what Sucker Punch did with the wind and the foxes and the birds to take away the like HUD stuff, genius. Brilliant.
Yeah, the wind was the best marker in the game.
I think they need to figure out more ways of doing that to vary it. Yeah. I think on top of that, one of the biggest problems of the game was the kind of morality system. Yeah. In the game, it seems like it fought you. The game, like, mechanically was like, hey, be the ghost. Like, do all of this stuff. That's the fun stuff. That's the stealthy, like, cool stuff, right? Yeah. But then the story was like, don't be the ghost. That's dishonorable. And then as you played more of the dishonorable way, the weather was constantly stormy, which was kind of a neat thing. But then like, if you played it stealthy like me, because I like stealth games, it was just thunderstorming the entire time. And I liked those moments that were bright and sunny, and like those golds were just like shining, and the red, like, it's a beautiful game. I just don't want it to be dark and stormy the whole time.
I know this kind of goes against like games being accessible, because like I liked the morality of going between Samurai and Ghost, because then you kind of felt more like Jin, where you felt torn. The problem is I feel like the game didn't really incentivize you.
That's
the thing, because yeah, you want to be honorable like Jin, but honestly, being Ghost is just 100 times fucking cooler. You get cooler tools. It's way cooler. I feel like the game should have like an upgrade tree and diverge. Like imagine it. I'm trying to think of a good example. Like, okay, it's like an indie game.
Really need to be like distinct.
Have you ever played?
Here's why you need to be the Ghost.
Have you ever played Sundered, Kyle?
No. Mm-mm.
So Sundered has a morality thing where you can be good or technically evil, and your powers directly affect it. Like you can't get any of the powers of being evil like you can being good. Like I want Ghost 2 to do that, where if you're going to be the Ghost, lock out the honorable, almost lock you out of combat.
Stuff.
Like you can still do combat, but it is way harder because you have locked into being the Ghost. Where if you go samurai, then you can't stealth anything because you don't get like the blow darts, you don't get the tools or the abilities, the stealth. Like I feel like they should have locked you out of, not locked you out, but they should have greatly diminished one of the skill sets. That way, like, oh man, I really like the melee combat, but it'd be great to stealth. Well, I can't. Now I have to make that decision. Do I give up the samurai combat for the stealth, or do I go stealthy and sacrifice the combat?
And I think it needs to have more of an impact on the story.
Yeah, that too.
Because at the end of the day, the game came down to a single choice that no matter what you did in the game, you could just make the choice there at the end.
Because you still had to do the Ghost thing at the end. Like you had to do it. You didn't have a choice.
Yeah. So who knows? We shall see what Sucker Punch is up to.
Ghost of Tsushima 2.
No matter what. Yeah. Moving on, though, to our third story here in the news section. Sony has launched a series of new gaming hardware aimed at PC players. This is coming from Shannon Liao at Launcher from the Washington Post. And they write, Sony Electronics is launching a gaming gear brand called InZone, aimed at PC gamers. The company announced its new brand this past week with two 27-inch monitors and 3 variations of gaming headphones. InZone has been in the works since 2019, before the pandemic, as Sony executives observed growth in the video game and esports industries. Quote, we are entering the gaming gear industry with monitors and headsets at an exciting time, since gaming and esports have gotten even more popular over the last few years. Kazu Kai, Sony president of home entertainment and sounds products, told the Washington Post, we are leveraging Sony's high quality display and audio technologies to deliver products that will allow gamers to immerse themselves into their gaming world. End quote. Sony's a PC gaming company now, boys.
PC gamers, yo, Sony's finally senpai noticed you, I guess.
They sure did. This makes sense.
Yeah,
to me,
especially,
though.
Especially with a lot of Sony's games actually finally rolling onto PC. It's understandable.
Well, that and just the fact that like Sony by themselves is not just a gaming company, right?
Yeah.
Like they do monitors, they do sound stuff, they do speakers, they do all sorts of stuff. So yeah, if they can make a line of products that is more focused on gamers and has the features they need, that makes sense. Like it seems like they could make a lot of money on that. I don't know. It just makes sense.
It honestly, like, all this is exciting, but like I play on consoles, so like none of it really matters to me. The one thing that upsets me the most about the PlayStation 5... It is a
monitor, though. So like you can play your PlayStation 5 on the new Sony monitor, which is also vaguely designed to look like the PlayStation 5.
But
like has the same like white and blue.
But like Kyle, I have my TV though. Like why would I need the monitor? No, the thing that bothers me is like I have two Sony I have a Sony headset and Sony earbuds. Like I have where the hell are they? I have like the expensive like wireless Sony earbuds that are like super high quality. And it's kind of bullshit because they're wireless, but they will not connect to my PS5 Bluetooth. Like those show up on the Bluetooth like accessories and I'll click on it and it's like, oh, sorry, this device is not supported. And like my Sony wireless headset, you connect PS5 and it goes, sorry, not supported. Like
it said,
these
hey,
aren't
you're
Sony,
not a gamer.
Like these Sony this headset I'm wearing is not Sony branded, but like this Bluetooth fucking headset doesn't work with the PS5, and I'm like, dude, like, sure, this headset, whatever, honest, but like the Sony earbuds, what the hell, man?
To be honest, it's probably the same thing Nintendo did, right? Where it actually works. They just need to flip the switch. They just probably want these out and have been out for like 6 to 8 months to be like, oh, now we've made an update so older models work with this stuff.
Now they work. Like after you bought the new expensive one, you're like, hey, now your old stuff works. Like, oh yeah, thanks.
Yep.
Yeah,
indeed.
This doesn't excite me. I know audio, like, okay, I know we ragged on Ignacio for not listening to game music because low key that Ignacio, you're fucking up. But like I whenever I play games, I don't ever wear a headset. Like I just listen through my TV. So like I never really get into the oh, you can hear the dynamic sound. You can hear how far enemies are from you. Like I get it's like a neat feature and it's cool to have, but like
you just never seemed.
I never got into it.
Game. You don't want the fancy new controller. You don't want the new like sound design that's more immersive. You want to
the new controller.
Old Sonic games. You just like old gamer is old over here.
I'm the PlayStation 2 gamer for life. No, like listen, I like the new controllers. I don't like adaptive triggers. I don't like Kyle, I have
the new controllers.
Kyle, I haven't listen, it's not even because of the rumble, the new vibration. I haven't used vibration on a controller since like the PS3, like since the PS3 had it, okay?
Since
like
the N64 rumble pack.
I don't use vibrations, so like I'm technically like this old game where Sony's like, hey, new features, and I'm over here like, oh my god, no, please, just I don't want it. But yeah, like this is honestly really cool for PC people. Like I feel like if you're already on PS5 and you kind of have the PlayStation like accessories, this doesn't do anything for us, I don't think.
Or if you're a PS5 streamer, right? And like you're on Twitch, you want the setup that is to be styled after all of that. You have the headphones, you have the monitors with the stand that match. Like that could be neat, right? But yeah, I think TVs in general are lagging behind in terms of like refresh rates and all that stuff. Because generally speaking, outside of gaming, you don't really need all of that. You don't need like a 1440p monitor. I mean, I guess you could do like a 4K thing, but you don't need that refresh rate of like 120
and I feel like you only need that high refresh rate if you're like a hardcore competitive gamer, because like I'm a gamer, like, but I'm not like mega competitive or play Call of Duty, so like a non-high refresh rate doesn't like really matter to me. But yeah, like I mean, this is nice. This obviously isn't a product or a line for me, even though I'm a Sony person. But it is still nice that Sony is making more products for those, I want to say niche audiences, but at least they're making something for somebody somewhere.
Yeah, indeed.
Which is always nice.
Indeed. Well, there you go. That's kind of the biggest news of the week. So with that, we will get into our new and notable section.
Oh, I don't see it in the news anywhere. I don't know. This will probably be in the lightning round maybe, but we'll do it there. But so we'll go into new and notable. Cool. So first off, a Ubisoft Forward event has been announced for July 7th at 11 a.m. Pacific time. So that would be 2 p.m. Eastern time, and we'll have gameplay reveal of Skull and Bones.
Wow.
I feel like people are gonna watch this reveal of Skull and Bones almost for like the meme.
That's what I'm gonna do. Seriously, like, how does this game still exist? to be honest, they've announced this. I still don't believe it.
Yeah, like when did we last even see this game, honestly?
This game has been in development hell since they announced it.
But like, when's the last time
Assassin's Creed Black Flag was announced and they were like, hey, you guys like this ship combat, huh? Hey, Skull and Bones, all ship combat. And then just
but
just
like
completely died.
Do we know the last time we've actually like seen this game? Like when we got to look at it?
I don't think we have. Is the thing. Like we've not gotten a look at the game. We've not gotten a teaser. We've not gotten a trailer. There has not been like old gameplay of what it used to be, except for what we know from the Assassin's Creed games. Like there has been some news out there of like, here's what we're trying to do, or here, you know, all of that stuff. But man, like what?
I really hope the Ubisoft Forward. I really hope Skull and like they said that it's gonna have the gameplay reveal of Skull and Bones. I really hope Skull and Bones is not like the flag of like this reveal of this event. Like if this is like
it's focusing on Skull and Bones is its main thing.
I feel like that's got to be a lie, because if this event is going to be just mainly Skull and Bones, is it mean? I don't think anyone cares.
So I know Ubisoft they didn't do stuff for Summer Game Fest, so this is the closest thing to it. However, they are one of the few companies that have announced that they will be at Gamescom. Is that that's the one, right? The one in
I think
Germany, right?
I think so.
Which there's always the thing I say, the Gamescom is like 3 times bigger than E3 worldwide. But I think like Nintendo and PlayStation have both announced that they won't be at Gamescom, and a few other people. So Ubisoft could also be doing something else this fall, in September, when Gamescom is a thing. I'm assuming there will be some other announcements in here, but they're making it sound like this is the main thing. Why you should watch this.
Isn't the only other game we know Ubisoft is working on is the new Rabbids game? I think that's all we know.
Well, we know their next Assassin's Creed game is Assassin's Creed like Infinite or something like that.
Oh yeah, that's right. We did get told about that, but we haven't seen anything on that either. Like we technically.
There's eventually we will hear more about this potential Splinter Cell remake that they have there. And that's not me hoping for a new game. They have said like, all right, hey, we're gonna try remaking this. And then I mean, of course, there's probably gonna be an update for Siege and for Siege Extraction.
I honestly, I don't know. Like I don't really play Ubisoft games anymore, so I don't think Ubisoft can announce anything that's really going to get me excited personally. I've kind of fallen off the next Ubisoft formula of open world games. Like I mean, I hope the reveal of Skull and Bones goes well, but I don't have hope.
Interesting.
You know?
Interesting.
But that was Ubisoft forward. Now it's more like Ubisoft backward. But we have Klonoa Fantasy Reverie Series is coming out for PlayStation 4, 5, Xbox S and X, the Xbox One, Switch, and PC, and that releases on July 8th. We have Madison for PS4, 5, the Xbox X and S, Switch, and PC, also on July 8th.
This was a horror game that was in a number of showcases at Summer Game Fest. Not my kind of thing, but it looked
too scary.
Scary as hell. Yeah.
I mean, I haven't heard of it. I might have to look up a trailer. On July 14th, we have Escape Academy on PS4, 5, Series X and S again, Xbox One, and PC. No Switch. And like I said, that was on July 14th.
Yeah. If you guys like escape rooms, this game is for you.
Not a puzzle guy, you know. The Witness. Rune Factory 5 only for PC, July 15th.
I believe that is currently already out for Switch. So they are bringing it to the PC.
And now the last one, I think it says itch.io is hosting an indie bundle for abortion funds in aid of reproductive rights. For a minimum donation of $10, you get almost 800 games. And honestly, even if it wasn't 800 games, honestly, just support it. It's a good cause. And again, even a $10 donation goes a long way. Any little bit you can help helps a lot.
Absolutely. If I'm not mistaken, this bundle will be available until July 13th. So get on that ASAP.
And only $10. And that is a lot of games for $10.
Mm-hmm. Indeed.
That wraps up our new and notable, which is old and noted. So we're going to swing into the lightning round. Okay, so this one's not in here, and I saw this one today. It was an article, I believe, from IGN that in 2023, we will be getting a Lollipop Chainsaw remake.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
I saw that earlier today when I woke up. So apparently, I'm trying to remember. It was like, it's going to replace the music because of licensing issues, and it's going to have obviously updated graphics. So if you like Lollipop Chainsaw, which I think is only on the PS3, and I think it was also for the Xbox 360, going back. A great zombie hack and slash, kind of almost fan servicey game. Weirdly good though.
Interesting.
So there's that one. But with our actual list, starting in October, Xbox Game with Gold will no longer include 360 games.
Or went out for the Xbox 360.
Sorry, 360.
Yeah.
The exciting news, huh?
Yeah. Go for it.
This one was exciting because I need to play it. Monster Hunter Rise Sunbreak, the expansion to Rise, has shipped 2 million units worldwide in under a week.
Yeah, that's pretty wild. To specify, this is not units sold. Units shipped, but even still, that's just like, holy cow. That's a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, like Rise was still a popular game, and Sunbreak, again, Capcom really great at having these expansions that just add so much content to an already existing game. It's pretty much like a second game.
There you go.
So definitely get on that, but also play Rise because I have to as well. Bungie is reportedly working on a Destiny mobile game with NetEase because you love nothing more than mobile games.
Mm-hmm. You know? Yes, I mean,
not for me.
It kind of makes sense that they would want to go in a direction like that, I feel like, but yeah.
I mean, mobile games are popular. Like people, I don't think they're as popular here as they are in like Japan. I think in Japan, mobile games are way bigger.
Oh, yeah.
So FaZe Clan has permanently banned now former member Scented after using hate speech. Fucking get him out of here.
Yeah, I don't really follow esports teams all that much, but I know FaZe Clan has in the past had to ban or suspend a number of their members for one reason or another. I think I saw something of like a crypto scam. There's now hate speech, right? Like they're just all sorts of things. So I don't know, but they released a statement, and he has released an apology as well. But yeah, no longer a member of FaZe Clan.
Just instead of using hate speech, I don't know why you can't just promote positive speech. It's not that fucking hard. But EA has tweeted their version of a meme that got a lot of backlash from the gaming community. So the meme of they're a 10 but, and EA tweeted they're a 10, but they only like playing single player games. This blew up so much. Like
EA, what the fuck?
Yeah. Oh my God.
So I saw this. This was awful. This was terrible. Dumb joke. But like what I think pissed people off the most is that the meme is supposed to be they're a 10 but red flag. Yeah. And like name some red flags.
It's supposed to be something that they don't do that you don't like.
So to see a gaming company be like, hey, single player gaming, red flag, man, those people suck, is just like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Especially coming from a company that is notorious for loot boxes and taking advantage of the players in means like that. It just like trying to exploit you to get money out of you. It is like, hey, they're a 10, but we can't exploit them.
This
is just like, what the fuck?
Here's your advice for the day, friends. Just because you write it doesn't mean you have to tweet it. You can put it in your drafts. You don't have to send it.
Yeah, we don't need more Radio Shack Twitters.
This popped up on my Twitter and everyone was like, "Oh, look, EA being a clown again. Look at them go."
God, and the thing is, the single player games that they do make, people really enjoy and want more
really
of,
like them.
But they're so reluctant to put more out, and everyone loves their single player game. It's just like, what are you doing, EA?
Sometimes I think EA is playing like they're going for the long con. They're trying to play the longest joke on us that like they're gonna pull the curtain on us and we're gonna be like, oh my god, they were fucking around the whole time.
Who's Callisto Protocol being published by? Is that Microsoft now, or is it because it is made by the former people who made Dead Space?
I don't remember. For some reason, I want to say Capcom, but I know that's not true. There's no way it's. But didn't we see it at the Capcom show? No, I don't remember.
Anyways, Jedi Fallen Order 2, right?
You know, they're
Dead
Kyle.
Space.
Kyle, they're a 10, but they're EA.
Yeah, no. So I tweeted out like they're a 0 because they're a terrible game company, anyways. But this whole thing was a mess.
I had my own brand one was they're a 10, but they don't collect PSN trophies. Got them. So apparently Sega wants to adapt some Atlas games like Persona for TV and movies. And even though a Persona anime, you know, I don't already exist, you know, Sega, did you know that? There's already a Persona 4 and 5 anime and a Persona 3 movie.
I don't know. I guess they want to do more stuff than just Persona, but all of the reporting I saw on this was like Persona, and it was just like, you guys not realize there's already an anime of this?
What if Sega tricks us and this is good. Your audience, you're gonna hear this. You're gonna wait. That's not a real game. What if they make an anime for Persona 1 and 2? I know games that you don't think exist. Persona 1 and 2? What? It starts at 3. Right. I don't.
Yeah. So we might see some like Shin Megami Tensei stuff as well. Yeah, I think that would be interesting because I know the anime that already exists hasn't really caught on as much as the games have.
I know Persona 4's anime is pretty well received. I know Persona 3's movie is widely liked, but I know the Persona 5 anime is not very liked as much.
And it's also liked by such a small group. It's niche, but it is well regarded. So I think they are wanting to like how like now that 5 has had such a success and people are now more interested in older Persona games and Shin Megami Tensei and Catherine and stuff like that. How do we take that IP and bump them up into the mainstream here?
You just popped this into my head. I would actually kill for like obviously like put it like what if it was on HBO, right? HBO Max, a Catherine anime.
You never know.
Like very adult centered Catherine. Like that would be honestly really good. I would get HBO Max to watch that. I'd want to see that. But Sega could make a new Sonic anime, but whatever. It's whatever, man. They do big money.
Oh, well.
Last up, Samsung has launched a gaming hub streaming platform on a range of their 2022 smart TVs. Partnered services include Game Pass, Nvidia, GeForce Now, and Google Stadia.
Yep.
I guess.
This is interesting. They announced this, I think, late last year, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, so if you are a subscriber to Game Pass, you don't necessarily need to have an Xbox to play it now. If you have one of these smart TVs that Samsung has made, you can they have their whole like section on their smart TV you can go to, and you can subscribe to these things and play video games, hook up a controller, do all that stuff. So interesting.
It sounds cool, but I'd rather just own a console. Plus, at that point, why not just have like a PC? Like, I feel like in any modern house, you'd have a PC already.
Well, I mean, Xbox is making that like streaming dongle thing, right? I know. I mean, that was the whole Google Stadia experience too. Like, we are going in that direction, and I think steps are being made. That technology is being made right now. I think the kind of popular thought is like, it's cool, but we're not really there yet.
It's the technology that we deserve, not the technology we need.
Right. We do actually have 3 more down below that. If you scroll
do we?
Down.
I didn't scroll down. Wow. Yeah. So almost done. But I don't know why I didn't scroll down. In their latest episode of Patch Notes, Twitch announced a number of updates to their platform, including custom tags, a feature called Guest Star, and more. I know Twitch likes to have features, but I know usually the consensus is they never include the features people have been asking for.
Twitch has been really bad the last handful of years. That's why there was kind of a major exodus to YouTube. Unfortunately, YouTube has also been kind of slow with their rollout of some of the features that they need, but they are getting there. Twitch has tried to implement new features, new ways to like promote your favorite streamer, and it's just been a shitstorm. Reportedly, the executives at Twitter really don't care about the users and the services that they need, like all that. Like they just want to make money. Like all of that, and it has shown in what has happened on the platform.
Even though Twitch should really make more features to just cultivate their already existing like talent they have, which if they do that, it would just make their platform just even better. Like if you cultivate your talent, more people go to it, and then you make more.
Yeah, I mean they've tried to do some of that stuff. It's just it's just fallen very flat. Of like, that's how you're trying to do it? No,
no,
don't do that.
But honey, what are you doing?
These updates seem to be pretty welcomed and are kind of neat. So they like you said, there's a custom tags feature, which could be a really, really good thing. The downside to that is hopefully you don't misspell stuff, right? Instead of them having an actual like set tag. Maybe you accidentally misspell something, right? And that sucks. The guest star feature is interesting. So they already have squad streaming, which this feels like a next step of that, where if I'm streaming here on Twitch, I can kind of dynamically pull you in if you're streaming at the same time to have your camera be on my stream at the same time.
Interesting.
And I don't think it's necessarily your stream is on my stream. I think it's your camera. So if you're like, you can tell it like what mic you're using, what camera you're using. And so it is kind of trying to cut out Discord from that. But you can also like pull in members from your chat and stuff like that to have
yeah, it's
them
like a guest
on.
star that way. Like, oh, you can like highlight like specific people from your chat to be like, hey, and that could almost play into like subs. Like, oh, if you sub or you have this high tier, you can like guest star on like a stream where you can just like rotate guests on stream.
Exactly. If they have a question. So this is maybe more so for just chatting, but can be really, really helpful. Yeah. If like you and I are playing a game at the same time, like I can stream it on my channel, have both of our cameras be on there, but only show my gameplay or stuff like that. It just is a really neat feature that I hope works out for them. That would be neat.
I hope so.
So good stuff there.
Well, sadly, some bad news. Niantic, makers of Pokemon Go, have they are laying off 8% of their staff, which is about 85 to 90 people, because they are struggling to find their next big hit. I don't really know what you find a bigger hit than Pokemon.
They've announced some things. They've tried their hands at certain things, and those things have been canceled or pushed back or all that stuff. And yeah, they just can't really seem to find their next big hit. So,
I mean, it still sucks people getting laid off. At least it's only 8%. Like those 85 to 90 people, that's really sucks.
Though. Yeah,
that's still a lot of people. But hopefully, at least they find something that sticks. But it's not going to be easy to try to even match Pokemon, because that year that game came out, I don't think you'll ever recreate that. Ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
And last but not least, just weeks after Unity's CEO told employees that layoffs would not be happening, the company has laid off about 4% of its workplace, which this is a much larger 263 people across multiple organizations and countries. Really shot yourself in the foot, and that's a much larger company, and that's a far larger group of people. So sucks for them. I really hope they find work and things get better for them.
From what I understand, the Unity has kind of had some turmoil over the past year or two, especially as they have started to kind of diversify outside of video games. There are a lot of companies, including game companies, that do some work for the military. I know Unity was one of them that kind of came under fire. No pun intended. Yeah, like, hey, we don't really feel comfortable with the contracts that Unity has with the U.S. military, stuff like that. I know they recently bought some other game studio. I don't remember its name, and they also bought Parsec, the game streaming platform, not for like a wider public, but for like journalists to get like a preview of like a demo or something like that. A lot of companies were using Parsec during the pandemic to make that happen.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're trying to grow and diversify and stuff like that, and as they're trying to keep up with Unreal Engine 5 and all the meta-human stuff that they're doing over there and all the wild stuff, it seems like Unity is maybe struggling to keep up.
Yeah, well, hopefully Unity ends up bouncing back, and hopefully things don't get worse. So, yeah. I mean, obviously, I hope they get better, but as long as they don't get worse, I think things are at least going to be okay.
Hopefully.
But that officially wraps up the lightning round.
There we go.
Fast. Boom, go.
There you go. Good stuff. So yeah, what are we excited for this week? Alan, what are you up to?
Oh man. You know, sadly, this is kind of a low week. Nothing's really happening, but I'm just excited to still play more card games. I've actually like really engrossed myself in the Digimon community, and I've made a lot of friends, and I've made met a lot of really cool people. So I'm honestly just excited to keep hanging out with them and hopefully Platinum the Quarry, because I think there's finally a workaround for a glitch in the game that I can finally get the last trophy.
There you go. Good stuff.
What about you, Kyle? What are you excited for?
Thor: Love and Thunder. Man, I am excited. By time this goes public, I will have already seen it. So
I will have not yet. I gotta wait just a tad longer.
There you go. Yeah.
And I'm excited to watch Triple R this weekend.
Go check it out, please. It's fantastic. Still playing some Final Fantasy X. I know coming up real soon here, I have a couple games that I'm looking forward to, including Stray and Live Alive. So I'm excited for all of those. But yeah, Alan, where can the people find you on the internet?
You can find me tweeting about any of my random stuff going on at Twitter at Alan Busby, where is the only social media platform I have besides YouTube. I guess. So find me there.
Good stuff.
What about you, Kyle?
You guys can find me at YoKyleSpringer on Twitter. And if you guys would like to stay up to date with all of the stuff that we do here at The Whatnots, we are at The Whatnots on Twitter. Please go like, share, and subscribe. That would help us out a ton. You guys know the deal with all of that stuff. Go spread the word. Go tweet about us. All that good stuff that helps us out a ton.
Go fire a firework that explodes in the air that says our channel name.
Exactly. We will see you all next time. Bye.
Take care.